The fire is fading. The fire that created this world and birthed humanity is ending, and now everything is falling apart. People are losing their humanity and going insane. Terrible demons and bosses are roaming the lands, killing anything that gets in their way. And gods are without answers and slowly too losing their minds. But then there is you, the chosen undead, who has been given a second chance, not to rot in a cell to the end of the world, but to instead fight and save it. You arrive in Firelink Shrine and begin your journey, meeting new faces that either bring you down or pull you up, exploring rich and vast levels that test your skill and capabilities. And at the end, you must face difficult bosses that at times will feel unfair and make you want to quit as you die over and over and over again. But you don't. You keep going, keep trying until you find victory, until you are face to face with your destiny. That is Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is a medieval RPG dark fantasy game released in 2011 by From Software and the GOAT Hidetaki Miyazaki. And over the years, it has grown quite a big popular reputation as one of the most influential games of its generation, like the Seven Samurai of video games. I'm sure anyone watching this is probably aware of the story, but if you're not, or forgot that incredible intro I did, Dark Souls takes place in the world of Lordran as you play as a chosen undead tasked with linking the flame that is slowly ending and basically ending the world, making all these people go insane, all these gods losing their minds because they don't know what's going to happen. And so you're basically there to stop it, right? Now in terms of the gameplay, it's considered very difficult. Unfair levels with bosses that are really hard, can kill you in a couple of hits. And this is what leads to many people wanting to hate on the game, because I think it's too hard and it should have an easy mode, or they're just not the kind of game for them and they want to hate on it. And to be fair, they're not entirely wrong, right? I mean, there's a lot of areas in the game that are quite unfair. I mean, there's this one enemy, this one little frog dude, that can just one-shot you completely. Just one-shot you, and then when you're resurrected, half your health is just gone. And you don't even tell you how to fucking get it or what. And that's pretty annoying, right? But this is why I'm here. I'm here to tell you that the haters are wrong. Dark Souls is one of the most incredible games of all time, alright? One of the most perfect games. In the first half, second half, the first half, one of the most incredible games of all time, right? And sure, it's difficult, but that is what makes Dark Souls Dark Souls. And so if you continue watching, you'll find out why I think Dark Souls is the perfect game, and one of the reasons why it's the perfect game is the difficulty. The difficulty is what makes Dark Souls Dark Souls. So this is the art of Dark Souls. To start, let's go to the beginning, where you arrive in the Undead Asylum, where you learn the tutorial, the controls and whatnot, And it's all going well and good, you think you're making progress until you meet the big bundle of love that is the Asylum. That basically tries to kick your ass and basically just try to make you give up. Or I guess not give up, but try and just show you it's a pretty tough game. Okay? And you haven't even got your weapons at this point, right? So that's pretty tough. And you might think, oh, what do I do? But you just walk around the arena, you'll find this door that lets you leave, right? Make sure there's solutions to problems, right? You don't have to take everything on head on, but there's alternative routes you can take. Once you take this little path, you'll then find your equipment, your weapons, your swords, your that and that. And then you go up the stairs and then you go to this fog wall, right? Pretty cool. And then you can do a cool ass plunging attack on the other side of the demon to then have for your round two. See, if you just gave up, you wouldn't get to do this cool, right? That's pretty cool. Now for new players, this can feel quite challenging, right? This is a pretty tough boss, I guess, for a tutorial boss from the start. But, because it's high damage and stuff. But if you take your time, attack when needs to, wait for him to finish his moveset, it's doable, it's pretty easy to do. And then, when you defeat him, walk out and make your way to Lordran to start the game. So why did I talk about the tutorial? Well, I talked about it because I feel like it's a perfect representation of the game that you're about to play, right? And I feel like if you like the tutorial, or if you can stick through the tutorial, you can stick through the whole game. Because what it shows you, as I mentioned prior, is with the Asylum Demon, is you don't have to tackle everything head on. Okay, there's alternative routes you can take. You know, like with the door that leads you into the rest of the tutorial where you can finish it. You know, gain some more experience, more, you know. And then when you actually end up taking on the boss, I mean, it's still not going to be a piece of cake, but you're coming in more prepared to take him on. It's all about perseverance, right? If you keep on going, you keep on trying, eventually you will see victory. And it will feel very, very worth it, trust me. So you then arrive at a Firelink Shrine, which is basically serves as the hub of the game. So it's where a lot of areas kind of connect to, and where you then go off into fight the rest of the game. And in Firelink Shrine, you'll meet a couple of NPCs. One of these NPCs, one of the first ones you'll probably meet, is the Crestfallen Warrior. And this character basically serves as the purpose of a dude who's just given up, right? Given up and awaits the end of the world, basically. He's like, what's the point? What's the point?
Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
His presence and purpose, basically saying, this could be you if you give up. He chose the easy way out, but you don't have to. You can keep on going, keep on trying, even if it seems tough, right? Keep on going, keep on trying, even if it seems impossible. But trust me, nothing is impossible. So you keep going up to the undead bird, as you finally want to go to the graveyard because you thought that was early game friendly. And slowly make your way through the level until you reach the boss, the Taurus Demon. Now this guy should be pretty straightforward, but for some reason I'm always suck at fighting him.
Are you kidding me?
It's just a skill issue. But he's in every Souls game, yet this guy still gives me grief. That's Dark Souls right there. But what is interesting about this dude, if you look around the arena, you'll then see a ladder, they go up, and then there'll be two skeleton dudes that you just beat up. And what they can do there is do a plunging attack, just as what you did with the Asylum Demon earlier on. There's just stuff like that, just really nice, that rewarding feeling of discovering something and using it to your advantage. But what is important after beating the Taurus Demon is as you progress through the level, you'll then meet a character by the name of Soler. Now this dude is the best NPC ever.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it.
Soler will eventually become one of your closest allies in the world. In this depraved, depressing world, he's this one glimmer of hope, this one shining sun. And what he does is he will show you about the old multiplayer stuff, which serves as this way of showing that you don't have to do everything on your own. You know, you can have other people to help you. You know, it's not just you against the world. You know, you can summon people, summon allies to help you. Now, that's not just for Dark Souls, that could be for life. You know, for life, you don't have to rely on just yourself. You can have other people to help you.
We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura.
Now, you might be saying, this is just story-related stuff. It's got nothing to do with the gameplay. It doesn't actually make the game good. And to be fair, you're right. I mean, you're probably right. This is just gameplay stuff. Stuff like the Crestfallen Warrior, Soler. That's not got anything to do with actually enjoying playing the game, right? You can watch a couple of videos and all that's really cool, but actually playing the game is a different thing, right? So you progress through the game, go through the bridge with the Drake dude, and breathes fire, ignore all that stuff, and go into Undead Parish. Undead Parish, I love Undead Parish. That's one of my favourite areas And what I love about Undead Parish is how it connects all the different areas, right? It connects, you go down to the Darkwood Garden, you can go to meet Andre, who's a pretty cool dude.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Now this is all great, it's all great seeing these characters that are core parts of the game, the core parts of the story, watching their story, watching them progress, and then eventually seeing their conclusion to the story. Now that's all well and good, that's not what we're here to talk about, that's the stuff for another day, right? What I'm here to talk to you about is Undead Parish. Back to the main topic, Undead Parish, what I love about this area is that if you go into the little church area, you'll see this elevator. Never just another normal elevator, but it piques your interest, right? You say, where could it go? Could it go somewhere, get a nice reward or something? You ventured all this way, and you ventured through, fighting enemies, drakes, bosses, tourists even, you could have gone all the way down to the Darkwood Gardens and defeated stuff there, meeting all these new characters. And take this elevator and it goes all the way back down to Firelight Shrine. Basically where the game started, just showing you how far, yet close, you've come. That is just an incredible feeling. Discovering this aspect of the game, just discovering this interconnectivity, how everything just perfectly matches. Honestly, that is just one of the parts of the game that just makes me want to push through. And taking that elevator, going back to where you started, and just realizing how close everything is, just how intimate everything is, just how well it's made. You meet up with the characters in there, and you almost have this temporary pause, right? As you're close to ringing the first bell of awakening, you can come back down, meet some dudes, as you gain some more experience, you've leveled up, become a better player, and then you can come back up and defeat the Bell Gargoyles, pretty difficult boss.
What the fuck? I could have bombed that. Why?
Defeat them and ring the first bell of awakening. It's a great form of motivation. It's great to see how far you've come and how you've now found your way back home. And you can go, I can do this. I can see this through. I have to see this through. You travel all so far, and now you're right back home, right in that little bit of comfort as you then go into get into the rest of the game. Now, what is the purpose of all this? Why am I talking about this? Dark Souls is perfect because of the way it makes you feel. The feeling of defeating a boss, finding a new area, a new weapon, or finding comfort in someone so familiar. These are feelings you wouldn't get, or wouldn't feel the game, or wouldn't feel the same if you didn't have to fight for it and go through all of this trouble to make your way to this. And that is why this video can't really do Dark Souls justice. It's something you have to experience, something you have to play and enjoy yourself. You can watch this video and me talk about it, but it's ultimately up to you, the player, to go through this yourself, forge your own journey and your own experience.
Don't try anything clever.
Dark Souls is hard, definitely, but life is also hard. It can keep you down, not give you answers, it would feel downright unfair at times. But, like Dark Souls, it can also lead to moments that make all the pain worth it, that make you remember life won't always suck. Feeling alone, heartbroken, and not knowing what to do and how to get over these feelings. But it's important to remember that tough times never last, only tough people last. And that's why you keep going, because you're tougher than you give yourself credit for, and no amount of pain, suffering or heartbreak can stop you from keeping on going. The only thing that can cause you to give up is you. So stay safe, friend, and don't you dare go home.